This is Hot Mike.
Hot Mike.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo. It's that time. An author.
Offensive production, number 1. Number 2, I forgot.
Golfer.
It'd be like going on a 3-person best shot, and we were saying, Kolpack, you got to make a 25-footer every time. You wouldn't putt first. I'd have Tim putt first.
And one heck of a TV personality.
This game is for the Cooper Cup.
It's the Forum's Jeff Kolpack.
4! I should have yelled 2.
There he is, folks. Jeff Kolpack joining us each and every Monday. His appearances are brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. Appreciate it, my man. How's vacation gone?
Happy smoky Monday. Oh, there's no climate change.
Yeah, of course not.
I can't see it because my eyes are burning. That's why.
Welcome back. Did you have a good vacation?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Now it's no more slacking off.
No, it's go time here. We're 3 weeks into fall camp. ESPN's here today, so you picked a good day to come back with the worldwide leader in town. I was visiting with Polisek before the show that they're going to do their normal routine of practice and all that, but it's we're now to it now. We're 19 days out from the openers. Now I think this is the gritty week 3. Now it's positions are going to start being earned or defined, I think, by the end of this week.
Well, yeah, because you're going to want to taper down certainly in the last week and get to more of a normal routine. And, in the old days, it would be the last man standing this week. It'd be 3-a-days and Oklahoma drills and who's not on the sidelines wearing a white shirt.
Right.
Obviously different now, but you're right. Well, some of these true freshmen, this is a big week for them. 4 or 5 guys, in line to give it a shot. It's I think the offensive line is getting down there to especially the guard position.
Yeah. The thing to me and I'll get to those spots in a second, just looking at the whole team-wise, it's an experienced group, but one that hasn't had a lot of starts. And what I mean by that, there are guys that have played. It's just now we're going to need you to play 10 more snaps or 20 more snaps. That, to me, is the real interesting part of how this season goes, that are guys are going to be put in spots with a bigger spotlight on them.
I guess what I'm looking for, Dom, in this month is this a mature team or not? Are there signs that the coaching staff isn't happy with this or that? Yeah. Are there just too many inconsistencies? Are you acting like a veteran team? You can be young, but are you acting like a veteran team? How's your body language? Are you panicking? Are you throwing hissy fits out there? Or if you make a mistake, you have the confidence to know that that's just one little blip on the radar, and here we go. So those are the things you look for, I think, this time of year. I know in practice, the times we do see, it's so hard to gauge who's better than who. Yeah. It's just, was that a great catch or was that a bad play by the defensive back? I mean,
I know
50-50 usually.
Mike wrote about DJ Scott, the transfer from Kennesaw State, yesterday. You can check that out at inforum.com, that he has impressed me. He's big, but he's quick in terms of, he's built, but he can move. Like him and Miles Mitchell, and Polisek said this to us on Wednesday, the last availability at practice, and I followed up with him on Media Day on it, that's a legit battle for number 2. So we forget that Miles Mitchell is a true freshman because he got here in January, but he's a true freshman that it'd be Barika Penu and then potentially Money Mitchell is the number 2 running back.
But like I said, he doesn't act like a true freshman, and that's I think a big deal back there. Does he have the confidence to? And Tim really looks at running between the tackles. Do you break that first guy? Do you get that extra yard or 2 or 3? It's one thing to have speed. That's great if you have breakaway speed. But you do no good to the team as a running back if you go down on first contact every time.
And he said this, and it took me a step back to the assembled media. He think as a group, they could be better at running back in 2025 than they were last year. What do you make of that? I mean, they had the Jerry Rice winner in the backfield last year, and Marty Brown. He thinks they could be better this year.
Yeah, I wonder if he thinks they may be a little more explosive, because
I think
as good as Marty Brown was, he wasn't that breakaway dude, and we've said that 1,000 times. Between the tackles, he was incredible.
Yep.
I mean, he got that extra
and
2
he churned the yardage forward. Absolutely.
Be curious to see how things are going in Miami, actually, for him this month and as things go forward there. But maybe DJ Scott, maybe there's a couple more breakaway threats there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see.
I guess you throw in the fact Cortez LeGrant, his speed. I think Owen Johnson maybe used more than maybe we initially thought. We both talked to Owen during spring ball about being back, and he looks the part. I think people forget he was getting the ball more and more in the fall of 23. That first 6 games before he got hurt, he was out there being used in separate packages that Tyler Roll really liked him at. That could be something we see more of in 2025.
And you know that the Bison will give him every opportunity to earn whatever playing time he gets just because of the way he stuck it out.
Yep.
He's a veteran guy. He's a good teammate. He's a good leader. He's going to get every opportunity, I think, especially early in the season, to say, okay, here's your role. Can you take it and run?
Yeah, I think that, to me, we said that about them being better at running. Like, wow, I mean, Marty Brown was pretty good. Barica was good last year. And TK had his role. But I don't know, as you mentioned, how explosive they were and how deep. I mean, Haugo was brought over.
He was 4.
He was number 4 because they didn't have anybody else. That's not the case in 2020. I mean, they got 5, maybe 6 guys. I think he'd be okay in a pinch if they need to run the ball. He'd be okay with giving the ball to that guy.
I just don't see running back as an issue right now. We'll see.
No.
I mean, I don't see it as an issue. I'm looking more at some of the more inexperienced spots, most notably tight end.
Yeah, tight end is not necessarily set itself out, at least from the practices I've been to yet. Carson Williams is not practicing. Polisic doesn't seem to be all that worried about it since Carson has played quite a bit. It's the next guys have separated themselves. Luke Kokat's a guy that looks the part, that looks like he can be a flex guy that can get down the field and stretch it. But they had a stretch, and I brought this up last week on the show, where it was Ben Ellison, Noah Gindorf, Josh Babbage, Nate Jensen. They had freaks at that spot. I don't know if they have that currently. Reese Kessel is a big dude and can move. Hasn't played a down of college football yet, though. Jet Zabel, same thing.
Yeah, those two guys. I mean, the opportunity's there for a young guy like one of those two to grab some playing time. I still think Reese Kessel has an incredible amount of potential there.
I think you're going to see Truman. I think you're going to see Weremeyer there. I do. I think he's been flexed out, and Truman's got plenty of athletic ability and has caught the ball. They used him more, and we talked with Truman last Wednesday at camp, and he said, "Yeah, I'm really ready for my role to expand in the offense this year."
But is it really tight end such a huge issue right now, considering the receivers that they have? Now you're talking the true freshman.
Well,
maybe seeing some time too. Jackson Williams. I mean, you go up and down the line. Do you need a tight end for 4 or 5 catches a game, or 3 or 2?
I think you may.
Maybe in the red zone.
I think you'd like that. You'd like to have that option.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I think you'd like to have that. And Stuffle was that guy for Cam Miller, especially over the last 3 years, that Joe really was the guy that Cam trusted down deep when it got inside probably in the 25. Because there's going to be 2 guys on Bryce Lance all the time. That theoretically leaves somebody open if they're going to do that.
I would put Mekhi Collins at the line of scrimmage on he's 6'4", like 225.
As is Chris Harris is 6'4" too. I mean, you got a couple of giants that are out there on the edges that's going to be really tough to stop. I had this email, and I saved it for you because you've covered it forever. Because the email goes, Dom, should we be concerned about the recruiting of past classes that 2 true freshmen could come in and play on the lines right away in 2025?
I don't know. I don't think so. Do you? I mean,
so there's 2 ways to think about it. You can think about it that, holy cow, the talent they got this year is that good that they got to get them on the field. Or you could be glass half empty guy and say, did they miss on the last couple of years that Ryan Babbitt's can play offensive line and Elijah Wayne can play defensive tackle? I think I can be both. I could ride the fence on that one. I really could.
I would err on the side of they're giving the older guys some competition.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, we need some competition here. You think you're just because you're a sophomore and you've been here 3 years, here's a freshman coming in. You better hold your spot. To me, I read that as coaching staff saying they need competition at every spot. That's what you want to do as a football team.
I would say defensive tackle, if not razor thin,
might be more depth
it's
there,
whatever the next verb is after that, because they have 3 guys that have played, one extensively in Dutenheffer. Keenan Wilson played and flashed, and Logan Larson has got some run. After that, this young man, that's Elijah Wayne right there, looks the part that maybe Zach Vanderpool is another kid, a redshirt freshman out of Byron, Minnesota, who's not played a collegiate snap yet. I mean, they're going to need him. I just think that. And at this day and age, we've talked about this. You can't hang on to guys anymore. Like, hey, we're going to redshirt you and
develop you.
And if you can help us win, you're going to play.
2028, you're going to see the starting lineup. No, that doesn't work that way anymore.
If you're good enough, you got to play. And it's even gone beyond, because Kleiman talked to us about this when the 4-game rule became a thing. It's like, okay, we can see if this guy can help us and we're going to get him out there. I think it's beyond, like Jackson Williams was identified early on, and Polasek had some tells last year. Jackson Williams was one. Talon Edey was another. Haugo was another. That those were guys, Will Style, that we caught wind of early and they end up playing. So what's happened this camp? Babbitts is out there with the first team. Wayne's getting reps. Chris Keel is out there. Marion Moore, kid from Madison, Wisconsin, is getting reps, a defensive back. I think don't be surprised you see these guys playing when we're in Charleston in 19 days. I think that's the writing's on the wall on that.
I think if they could, they would take 110 guys to Charleston.
Yeah.
I think if they could.
So I asked the head coach that this morning. I think it's in the mid-70s right now of what they're going to take on the airplane. And depending if the boss says we can bring some more, they might. But that's the number I've heard. You're right, but I think right now, and 75 is quite a bit, because I think the regular season is 68 or 69. I mean, you might be rolling your eyes at me saying 6 more guys. 6 is a lot.
That's a lot.
You know, that means you can bring some more offensive linemen, or you can bring a couple more D tackles on games like this for the Citadel and Tennessee State to start the season. I'm just really interested on how this plays out. Injury wise, I mean, Alex Elliott's a big one. I really think that he's done.
Yeah, Edey,
done for the
that's
season.
unfortunate.
From what I gathered on this, Edey, they got some good news on.
Okay.
So it might not be as serious as they initially thought, but Alex Elliott is done. And that's too bad, because from what Grant Olson told me on Friday, that he was going to play a lot. And that's at a linebacker spot that they were hoping to rotate. That's already a blow.
Now you just hope the young man, now he makes a transfer, that he stays and gets back to where he once was.
Yeah.
I mean, because his college career obviously has not gone like he had hoped.
Nope.
You go to Minnesota, it didn't go there. You transfer here, now you're hurt, probably done for the season.
Right.
You know, can you stick it out?
Right.
Do you want to? I mean, that to me is the biggest thing.
Let's break. We come back. A couple more minutes with Kolpack. Some emails coming in as well. As the Bison are well underway in fall camp. Week 3 going. 19 days out from kickoff in Charleston. We're back on Hot Mic on WDAY Extra right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Jeff Kolpack back with us. Central Cass, assistant football coach, and AD Travis Lamar will join us in about 15 minutes. Squirrels are moving up to 2A football. Get his thoughts on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Man, everybody's moving up. Spud's moving up. Central Cass moving up.
Horace is up. Yep. It's kind of the Kindred's up. It's kind of the theme of football in the area in 2025. The Bison aren't going anywhere. We're stuck forever in FCS football.
Are we?
Yes. Yes. There's no other answer on that, unfortunately, is yes. Craig Bull had a fun story for us, if you remember this, way back when I want to say one of the first guys that in the Division I era they recruited out of Nebraska was one Garrett Brune out of Beatrice, Nebraska, and they got Jesse Hines out of the same. And I asked him,
Two tough hombres.
I said, what about going into Nebraska? So they hadn't done that yet. He goes, Dom, there's good football players in the state of Nebraska. Jackson Williams looks to be the next from Omaha. And I was just, Christian Dudzik and I were texting yesterday, another Omaha kid. I'm like, who am I missing on this list? And I went through them, and it's included in the story. If you didn't read it, you can check it out. It's a shameless self-promotion at Inforum. These are the guys I got off the top of my head. Maybe I missed somebody. Dudzik, Easton Stick, R.J. Urzendowski, Nick DeLuca, Jalen Allison, Marquise Siegel, Marty Brown, Cole Payton. I mean, we're talking, that's just Omaha. So no offense to Kyle Emanuel out of Schuyler and a few other guys out of the state of Nebraska that I didn't mention. But that's some heavy hitters, Kolpack. When they've gone and found guys, and now I think Jackson Williams may be the next one part of that list.
Nebraska, Big Red, what are you doing? what are you doing?
Yeah, there's a handful of these guys that could have played for the Huskers. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But that's the the real interesting nugget about how the Bison have, and they were out of Nebraska for a little bit. Now they've gone back in over the last couple of classes to make sure that they're, especially now with SDSU's new coach, Dan Jackson's an Omaha guy, that they're going to certainly be in the city of Omaha.
It's such an easy drive now, too, with South Dakota being 80 miles per hour. It's like in 5 hours you're here. I mean,
I think Google told me last night it was 6, but you're probably right with going a little bit faster.
6. Yeah, I meant 6. Yeah, that's what I meant.
But just the lush amount of talent there. Bowles knew it, obviously, from his days of coaching there, that this is something that North Dakota State's going to have to put their flag down. They've done that.
I would. I mean, I think Connor Riley really got did a lot of good things with recruiting, since he is an Omaha guy.
Yep.
And so you start something, and why not continue? It's a good thing. So NDSU, you always want to win the Twin Cities. That's number one.
Yep.
But man, Omaha's got to be up there too, does it not?
I would think so. It's the level of importance of it, I think, has risen, especially now who the new football coach is in Brookings. I think that's an area where we're not gonna miss out on a guy. We're gonna make sure we're gonna give everything we can, and if we can get him, great. Elijah Wayne's another Omaha kid. I know he hasn't played yet. That was a big recruiting flip. He was with SDSU until a week out of signing day, and then he flipped to the Bison. I mean, we could be talking about his name on this list pretty darn soon, which is, again, that's the level of talent that they've wanted to go out of there. I remember that story about when, and those two guys were part. I mean, they may not be headline names of the early years of the D1 transition. Bruin was a top. I mean, I think there were 3 times in 1 year we thought he was done for the season. Remember, with an ACL tear, and he came back and kept playing.
Maybe we start when Omaha dropped football and Brian Shepard came here. That was. Yep. I think he's a Kansas kid.
He was. Yep. Shep's a Kansas guy.
I would kind of include him as an Omaha guy too, a little bit.
That's a good point. That when that went away in 2011, the amount of players. I mean, you covered the D2 days of how good Omaha football was then. They were just left with, because Nebraska's not going to get everybody. Nope. Iowa's not going to get everybody. You know, it just there's a vacuum out there.
It's a good area. It's good athletes, and it's growing too. I mean, it's not going to get any smaller.
Another email comes in. Jeff, is there another position not named offensive line or quarterback that you're focusing on here over the next week or week and a half?
Offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Dan, I think he's 10 years experience calling plays, so it's not like you got a rookie there. Just curious to see what kind of style he'll bring. Will he be a little more out there? Like I think Jake Landry did some things a little more. Weren't as conservative as Tyler, and where does Dan fall in that area? I think that's something to look at. D-backs. Remember about a year ago, it was like, who's gonna play? I mean, there was just this consternation about who was going to be D-backs. Now I think they feel pretty good about their back end there,
especially the safety position
and the linebackers. I know there's maybe some unproven stuff with Staling yet. But, boy, he sure seems to fit the part and acts the part.
I'm telling you right now, Donovan Woolen's going to be good. He's going to be a first-team conference player
and
this year.
You forget about Logan right and Logan Kopp's a first-team
player. Yep. I'll say it on record right now on August 11th. From what I've seen at camp, Woolen's going to be that good of a player. And that's a guy we're going to talk about in January or whenever they decide the portal window will open. How do they hang on to this guy? Because I don't know how they're going to do that. Because that's just the guy. He sat next to me during media day. If you go back and watch it on WDAY Plus, I'm looking at him like, how is this guy here? And that goes back to our previous conversation before we wrap it up, that the guys like Babbitts and Wayne, maybe they're not supposed to be here. And what I mean by that is they were missed by the bigger schools, and NDSU got them, which we've done that routine.
Recruiting will never be an exact science. And that's the beauty of it, and that's the beauty of some of the programs like this program,
correct,
who have hopped on the train of some overlooked players. There's so many guys out there, and just I'm talking to a writer from Charleston later today, and he goes, I just want to talk to you about how did that program get good? How did they go from Division II, and I will go back to what Craig Bull did after the 2008 or 9 debacle. A 3-8 season that just changed recruiting a little bit, as far as quit looking at the stars and start looking at what kind of people these guys are, and stop looking at maybe the 40 times so much, and look at the GPA and all those things and the character. And so I think you find the hardworking guys you can develop, and if there's somebody that was a great athlete in high school, but the janitor walking around said, we had problems with that kid.
Yeah,
that was an automatic cut.
Right. Yeah, I just look at
that's how things changed, in my opinion.
And I look at it. That is a huge part of it too. I think just knowing that some schools are going to miss on guys like
Kyle Emanuel had 0 stars. Zero.
I look at how did Billy Turner get here? I'll never understand.
Tim Brewster was recruited like a moron. He wanted to go to Texas and get every 4-star he could.
Billy Turner and Marcus Williams were on the same team. Like I'll never.
Well, Marcus is different though. He was a basketball recruit coming out, and he was he was going to Clemson. I think he had offered. He had offered at Clemson, and Craig Bull thought, well, and he's a really good defensive player. Craig was talking to a basketball coach he knew, and was talking about Marcus Williams, and the guy goes, his shooting's okay, but man, he can guard anybody like you and believe. And Craig's going, well, if he can guard a 5-star basketball guy, I'm sure he can guard a wide receiver, and that's how that started.
That proved very accurate that he could do that.
He could do that
in the long run on that. And I'm really interested in this, especially in this era now where, teams will certainly, you go develop them for a couple of years, and then we're going to go take them after that. Of how,
those things change.
Right? Like of how these level schools like NDSU and South Dakota State and USD and UND find guys and keep finding them without getting disheartened in this era. That to me is the real challenge for coaches at this level of Division I football, of going out there and doing it. Like, we're going to find this guy, we're going to develop him, and then like a Donovan Woolen, cross our fingers and hope we can get him for 3, right? That's what now all coaches in this mid-major level tell me. If we can keep him for 3 years, awesome. And that's so sad.
Call it a victory.
It's so sad, but that's where we're at right now. Great stuff as always, Bud, and look forward to seeing you out of practice later today, all right?
That'll be a fun day.
Jeff Kolpack joining us here on a Monday. His appearances are brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. We'll break. We come back. We'll chat some high school ball. Central Cass is moving up to the big boy division. We'll chat about that with assistant coach and AD Travis Lamar when Hot Mike returns on this Monday morning. We're back after this.